Kakutogi! Live! Oh no. Oh, good evening. My name is Ross.
And I'm Mike.
And you are listening to
Kakutogi Crazy.
What's going on? Holy smokes, this is our first time ever. And for those of you that don't know, Kakutogi Crazy, we will be a MMA talk show. And we're going to be going over anything related to mixed martial arts, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Nogi, whatever you want. We got it, and we know about it. And I just want to give a great big shout out to KHRA Radio, AM1460, live 1.5. This week, you can't listen online, but next week, check out radiokoreahawaii.com. And on the top left-hand corner, there should be a live 1.5 button. Click on that. You should be able to listen to that streaming live.
Worldwide.
Yeah, baby. Whew. Shall we get the show started?
Let's do it.
Man, so for those of you that didn't know, what song was that, Mike?
That was the introduction to Pride. That was the biggest MMA thing in the early 2000s in Japan.
Pride Fighting Championships. Man, I got goosebumps just listening to that song. That's crazy. All right. Well, let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us. My name is Ross, and I've been a big fan of mixed martial arts for quite some time. Before I even get into that, just so you don't go, man, these two chuckleheads are talking about mixed martial arts, and I bet they don't even do anything. They just sit on the couch and change channels and look on the internet. Well, that's partially true. I do that. However, I do train a little bit. I started my training with Nogi Jiu-Jitsu under Barrett Yoshida, and moved on to HMC in Kalihi. What up, Haru, Kevin, Sage? And started doing more stand-up boxing, kickboxing, wrestling. And by wrestling, I mean everyone throws me around. But what about you, Mike?
Yeah, well, I remember in high school watching the very first UFC, not knowing what it was. That was a WWE event. And then watching the Dutch kickboxer, Gerard Gordeau. He kicked the sumo wrestler right in the mouth and his teeth went flying. Whoa, this is real, man. And then after that, watching Royce Gracie tap everybody out, this skinny Brazilian guy. Talking about these huge, steroid using, everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. It didn't matter.
What about your martial arts background?
Yeah, so after I saw that, I went to go check out Egan Inouye. He had a grappling limit up in Halava. I did that. Yeah, and did that for a while. And then I moved to Japan, and I lived there for about 7 years. And for about 2 of those years, I trained up at his brother Ensign's gym in Saitama at Purebred. And that was really cool, yeah.
Yeah, Ensign. Speaking of Ensign Inouye, I wanted to give him a big shout out. He's actually doing a pilgrimage in Japan right now. He's walking from the north end of Japan all the way into Kyushu, the southernmost island of the 4 main islands in Japan. And his website, you can check out his journey on destinyforever.com. That's destinyforever.com. He's also running a Facebook page. You can go like his page. He's doing a lot of picture updates, so you can see exactly what he's doing. And he wanted me to make sure to tell the audience and for people listening that that he's not doing it to raise money. That's secondary. If he can raise money, that's great. He can buy more supplies for the victims, but his primary purpose is to bring awareness that northern Japan is still suffering. And Mike will tell a little bit more about why.
After the tsunami wiped out tens of thousands of people, who knows how many homes. People are still living in temporary shelters. They don't have food, no running water. So, Ensign goes up there. He did before. He went up to go provide food and water, give maybe cakes, just to brighten everybody's spirits.
I think he's done quite a few of those. He's actually taken cases of beer, basic necessities, toilet paper, water, just real basic necessities that everybody needs. And he said it makes a huge difference because the people see him and they know that people still care. They're still thinking about them. And so that's his reason for continuing to do this. He's walking thousands of kilometers and his feet are all tore up and he's tired. And it's real interesting to see because they can only eat and drink and use what they can carry on their backs. There's no cars. There's nobody following them. It's only him and his buddy Roman. And if they run out of water or food, that's tough luck. They rely on the goodwill of other people that they meet along the way to give them water, to give them any type of food. Sometimes people take them out to eat. If they talk story with people, there's been instances where they let them sleep in their restaurant or they drive them here and there if there's no walkways and the tunnels are too dangerous. They might get hit by cars. So it's a real interesting journey that he's going on, and it's really great to see.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of you don't know Ensign. I mean, I remember I stepped into the Purebred gym in Saitama, and he was there. I think he was training for maybe one of his last Pride fights. And, man, he's a bad dude, and he's scary. But, I didn't want to mess with him. I don't want to talk with him. But, when he was done with his fighting, he's such a nice guy. I mean, a lot of people don't know at the Purebred, there's a lot of up-and-coming fighters who basically have nothing, no job skills, and their life is training. And Ensign has almost like a dormitory, like an apartment for them to stay in while they train. And he's so giving, to all the those fighters. Like I said, to the people up in Fukushima, and then even he did travels down to where they do the dolphins. Yeah, the
Cove. Yeah, that movie.
So so he's involved in a lot of stuff. Yeah, so way different than what you would think he was just watching him fight.
Right. Oh, okay. So anyway, once again, destinyforever.com, or you can check out his Facebook page, Ensign Inoue. So a lot of respect to that. Hopefully he can continue on his journey. Anyway, back to the original intent. Well, I guess that kind of follows along with it.
Yeah, he's a Kakutogi fighter.
Yeah, he's an MMA pioneer, man. He's crazy. That's a lot of good fights to watch. We're going to touch upon those good fights later in the show. However, did you see that last pay-per-view with John Jones against Alexander?
That was a good one, man. That was a good fight. I mean, I was rooting for Gustafsson, but John Jones was too much.
Man, he was looking good. He had the cardio in the beginning. He was definitely giving him problems on the feet. John Jones shot. I know he shot in for a few takedowns.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't get him down. Yeah, he was stuffing him. Almost actually every single takedown.
Yeah,
right?
every one. I think he only got one in the whole fight.
Right, and that was towards the end.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess, I know Joe Rogan was saying a lot that after Gustafsson I think he got Darce choked or Anaconda choked by Phil Davis. After that fight, he went to go train with Phil Davis because he knew his grappling and his wrestling wasn't up to snuff for that light heavyweight division, especially if he was going to be trying to challenge John Jones for the title later. So paid off.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can do, though. I mean, 5-round title fight. How much more cardio can you really get? It's
a lot of people don't count in the experience as well, because this was John Jones' 5th, 6th.
Oh, it's actually it was his record-breaking 6th title defense because Tito had 5.
Yeah,
Tito Ortiz had 5.
A lot of people count on experience, but experience counts for a lot.
And I think Alexander, he didn't have a lot of big profile fights.
Yeah, he didn't.
So, he did really, really well. I'm sure he'd like to have won.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully he'll come back. Yeah,
we'll see what that does to him. Other than that, the other memorable fight I had from that pay-per-view is what is it? Henin Barao? Bahal?
Yeah,
how do you say it? You don't say there.
I think it's Bahal. Yeah, the R's are pronounced as H's. Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, he fought Eddie Wineland, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
That guy had a lot of tattoos, and based on the number of tattoos, I thought he was gonna get it. No, he had an entire back tattoo, 2 full arm sleeves. I think he had some on his ribs. Yeah, that's
them all over.
That's like a +5 to toughness. Never mind. That was like Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, so he did really well, but the beginning of that second round, spinning back kick to the face,
man.
But it didn't land flush on the face. It wasn't a wheel kick where the heel connected, or to the temple, but it hit him, and
I think you get hit that hard with anything in your face.
I think what?
It lights out, man.
I think if Bahal, whatever, if that guy did a spinning back kick and he missed, I think the wind would have knocked me over.
Yeah, that reminded me of who's that Canadian fighter? He did a spinning kick to the guy's stomach. Not Lozon. Louso. The African American fighter from Canada.
Barboza?
No, he used it GSP in the beginning.
Oh,
the Crow.
Yeah, David Luazo.
Yeah. Remember he spin kicked that one guy?
Right.
He just crunched up and that was it, man.
That's no fun. Yeah, it just shuts down your whole body.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, other than that, anything else from that pay-per-view? I mean, it was actually a pretty good card.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have, that I was excited to pay $55 for it. But, actually that title fight and the interim, bantamweight. Interim bantamweight title fight. It actually kind of made up for it.
Yeah.
And hey, like we said, this is our first show. So if you hear any pauses, tripping over our words. Yeah, kind of cut us some slack, but whatever. You can make fun of us later. It's all in good fun. Anyway, wow, we're really burning through our programming here. But anyway, let's see. Let's move on to something I wanted to talk about is what pretty much got me really hooked into watching MMA is watching pancrase fights, or in Japanese, pancras. So pancrase, I guess, would be.
Yeah, I think they took that from the, like the Roman form of.
Or Greek, yeah. Greek, yeah. Olympics, right?
Yeah. Like pancration,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Where they got it from.
Yeah, and so, a lot of the guys that were fighting on that, those were like the OG MMA fighters. There was Boss Rutan, Frank Shamrock, Semi Schilt was fighting in there, Ken Shamrock, Funaki. There's a bunch of other guys, but if you ever go back and watch, man, you can kind of see the different disparity in experience levels. But there was no strikes to the face unless you could use an open palm.
Open palm, yeah.
Open palm. You could hit to the body, closed fist, and then no striking on the ground, I believe. And then what was really strange is that you will never see now is they were fighting in a ring. So when they caught him in a submission and it was really tight and the guy was ready to tap out, if you could wiggle over to the ropes,
right?
You grab the rope.
Yeah, you get 3 of those before you're done. It's called
like a rope escape or something.
Escape, yeah.
3. I think there might have even been up to 5.
Was it 5?
I don't know, but I remember I watched Matt Hume against Ken Shamrock.
Oh, that was a mean fight.
Ken Shamrock was 40 to 50 kilograms heavier than Matt Hume, and he was just flying him everywhere. And Matt Hume used all of his rope escapes, but it was pretty interesting.
I remember he got him in a mean Kimura at the end.
Everything. Yeah, whatever he felt like. So, that was interesting to see. Another great fighting organization was the Pride Fighting Championships. That's the intro music that we were talking about in the beginning.
Yeah, Pride was awesome. I remember going to one when I was living in Japan in Saitama Super Arena, and there's 50,000 people.
That's not fair that you got. That was your first. Was that one of your first MMA events that you saw?
No, the live, you mean?
Yeah.
The very first one was way back Super Brawl in Hawaii.
Okay.
That's when, what's his name? J.R. Palmer. I remember the very first one was
You said you saw Josh Barnett fighting.
Josh Barnett,
too, right?
but he was more towards the later ones.
Okay.
But the very first one was it was basically the Lion's Den against Hawaii. So Ken Shamrock, that was, I don't know, hardcore MMA fans know what I'm talking about, but that's when Jerry Bolander, Trey Taligma, those guys were
Teligman,
yeah, those guys were nobodies back then, yeah. And then
but then at the same time, if you think about it now, it's Lion's Den versus Hawaii.
Right.
Ooh, okay. That doesn't look good on paper. So.
Right, even what's his name? Pete Williams, the one who knocked
gosh.
out Mark Coleman.
Mark Coleman with that front.
Front kick, yeah.
Shin to the face.
Yeah. That was, there's basically, they won all their fights. They knew what they're doing, the people from Hawaii. They basically just got one person from Waianae, one guy from KPT, one guy from Mayor Right, and everyone thought they knew what they're doing.
Throw hands. Hit him now.
Yeah.
That must okay, Super Bowl. Okay, so I think if I remember correctly, my first live MMA event was Soulja Fight Night.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was crazy too because that was when Jens Pulver, he fought Stephen Pauling. And if you're a MMA fan and you haven't seen this fight, I think on YouTube or something there's a highlight video played to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Suck My Kiss. Oh my God, that fight was amazing.
Wow.
They're just winging at each other. And I think, Pauling was a orthodox, or he's a right-hander.
Right.
And then Jens was a southpaw.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, he was lighting him up with his straight left. And at the end of the fight, they were ugly.
They're always you're gonna have a good fight with those two always fighting.
Yeah, they bring it, man. So that was crazy. Now back to going to a Pride fight. I very jealous and upset with you right now.
It was awesome.
So do you remember which Pride it was?
It was Sakuraba against I think it was the second time Sakuraba fought Vanderlei Silva.
You went to Pride 17 Championship.
Was that
Chaos?
17?
That's the one where there was I think it was Heath Herring against Nogueira too.
Yeah, that's when he got him in the Anaconda.
Oh my God! How much was that? How much did those tickets cost?
That was about, I want to say $150, and that was the nosebleed seats.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
You
got to see
that.
That's
awesome.
just amazing.
We're so far away, but it's still awesome to be there.
Look at those two ants slapping each other right now.
And no one cheers in Japan. It's silent. They only cheer at the very end.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Joe Rogan makes mention of this too. Is when you do fight in Japan, it's actually quiet.
Right.
In America, they're just cheering, yelling, swearing, whatever.
Right.
You suck. Stand them up. hit him, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're yelling for kimuras when the guy's in a full guard and all that kind of stuff. But in Japan, they're sitting. When there's a transition or an escape, they're like applauding, right?
Yeah, they seem more knowledgeable to the ground game.
Right. And I think the American audience is catching up as far as knowledge, being knowledgeable, not going, how come he doesn't just hit him? Why doesn't he just submit him right now or something? Or like, oh, the arm bar is right there. Why isn't he arm barring him? It's like, well...
You know the other thing, too? They don't offer alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't offer alcohol at the Pride events. And I know when you go UFC, one of the main sponsors is Bud Light, right?
Right. They don't offer alcohol in Japan. But like baseball games, there's people...
At baseball games, they do, yeah.
Yeah, they're like walking around with big tank... They're basically kegs on their back.
Yeah, but I remember at the Pride, they didn't have... Because I remember wanting to drink one.
Dude,
being an American fan.
I want to drink one right now. That's crazy. Okay, so that's interesting to hear about. But too bad though. Pride no longer.
Yeah, I
in
mean
existence.
they got up some bad business with the Yakuza.
Right. Well, actually, almost every business in Japan or big, large corporation or business has some sort of ties to the Yakuza. That led to the downfall. Which is really strange. If every business is involved with the Yakuza, once they found out, all the big corporate sponsors started dropping out away from Pride and everything, and one of the greatest mixed martial arts organizations is no longer around. And the only way that we ever hear about them is it was in the UFC game.
Right, yeah. you can choose the Pride mode or the UFC mode.
Which is awesome because if you don't know, Pride offered soccer kicks to the head.
And foot stomps.
Foot stomps to the head. Knees to a downed opponent. Yeah. So even if the guy had his hands on the ground, hands and knees on the ground, there's some knees flying towards you. You're not in a good position. You get up and move.
But the thing that was good about Pride is fighters didn't really have to worry about their records, more about their performances.
Right.
Because you had fighters like Gary Goodrich. I don't even think he won once, did he?
Oh, he won a lot.
Did he win?
Yeah.
In Pride?
Yeah, he knocked out a lot of people. What are you talking about?
Well, all I see is him getting knocked out.
You don't remember that fight? I forget who it was.
He knocked out Don Fry with the high kick.
Right.
That was Gilbert Eiffel, huh? Or was that Gary Goodrich?
Man, you're confusing me.
Okay.
Stop. Anyway, so that fight, he fought against some Eastern European guy. He did the one where he grabbed the guy's arm and the guy's was underneath his back. His arm was underneath his back, right? So while holding one arm behind the guy's back in his guard, he was like landing overhand rights to the guy's face and knocked the guy out like that.
Oh, wow. Okay, I just remember those fights against like Fedor. Remember that fight?
Yeah, don't look at Gary Goodrich's tail end of his career.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think if he had the same record in the UFC, they would have cut him earlier.
It's funny that you mentioned that because Yushin Okami, he just went 3-1.
Yeah.
He just lost to Jacare, which is nothing to be ashamed about. But yeah, he got lickings in that fight. But prior to that, he was 3-0. He was on a 3-fight win streak, and they cut him. And
the person he lost to before that was Anderson Silva.
Yeah. He ran into a jab.
But you know what I mean? It's not like he lost to chumps, right?
Right, exactly. And he's been one of the stronger top 5 fighters in that middleweight division. So
well, Dana White has even said he's the best fighter to come out of Japan.
Sorry, but I cut him.
Yeah. You figure you want somebody from Japan, right?
Who else do they have? They have Takeya Mizugaki, but then as far as the heavier fighters, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, unless Satoshi Ishii gets his ish together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that'll ever happen. All right. Anyway, let's take a quick break with me making some announcements. And by announcements, I mean thank you to KHRA Radio. You are listening to AM 1460, Radio Korea Hawaii on Live 1.5. Thank you, David Lim, for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's really exciting and interesting to be doing an MMA talk show. I know there's one on ESPN, right?
I don't know if they do it anymore, but they did do it like during the day when no one could really listen. Yeah,
everyone's at work and can't really have access to an AM radio. I don't even know if people have access. Hello, hello, is anybody out there? But anyway, you can hit me up on my Facebook, and I just made a Twitter, which is at Kakutogi Crazy. So it's KAKUTOGICR crazy, just crazy. Kakutogi Crazy. I don't know how to spell that. But as far as what our name means,
yeah, Kakutogi basically means like martial arts.
Yeah,
in Japan, basically it just means MMA. Kakutogi.
Yeah.
So when you say the word Kakutogi in Japan, you're referring to mixed martial arts in Japan.
They'll know the distinction because just traditional martial arts would be like Budo.
Budo, yeah.
Yeah, Budo. And then Kakutogi means more like the combat arts.
Right, the combat arts, yeah.
Yeah. So, you want to try a guessing game here real quick?
Yeah,
For our
sure.
fans. So, what we're going to try and do is, if we're on the air and we can start accepting some phone calls, I don't know how that's going to work out or if that would just be a disaster waiting to happen. But anyway, what Mike does is he downloads a bunch of fighter intro music. And, what? Why are you looking at me like that?
I play them from YouTube.
Oh, right. What Mike does is not download intro music. He streams it off the internet. And, those of you that watch UFC, or actually, you'd probably be better off if you've been watching it for a long time, because he may play some really obscure intro music. But we'll see if you can guess which fighter comes out to this song, and that will be coming on maybe eventually.
All right. Well, this one I'll do. This is a more recent MMA fighter. So try and guess this one. He's a heavyweight.
Oh, okay. Yep. So it's gonna. Oh, I know why. Wait, go back. Ready? Go back. What? What is this?
Yeah, it's his intro music, man.
Heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
Are you sure this is not like Eddie Guerrero?
No, this is not the LWO.
Well, okay, wait, hang on. I think I can guess this one.
Okay.
Okay, because to me it sounds a little Mexican.
Right.
And I don't know if the rest of you can tell. I think that's a little Mexican. And heavyweight, you say?
Yes, heavyweight.
You're probably going to play a popular fighter.
Right.
I'm going to guess the heavyweight champion of the world, Cain Velasquez.
That's correct. Cain Velasquez.
You can't stop me. Just don't ask me another one. I probably won't get it. But,
you want to do an older one?
Ooh.
Let's do a Pride one.
Okay.
Okay.
Try that. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, come on. You gotta give me a hard one. Everyone's like, why are you guys playing raid music?
This was his intro song. Coolest fighter in the world.
Oh, actually, you can tell your story after this.
Oh, all right, I will.
I don't even know how to pronounce this artist's name. Was it Darude?
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 Darude? I don't know. It's not English.
That was terrible. Yeah, Sandstorm, right? So a lot of people that used to rave and whatnot, they all know that music, but to hardcore MMA fans, they know it as Vanderlei Silva's
right, Vanderlei
intro
Silva.
music. Yeah, so that's crazy. And actually, Mike has a very interesting story about Vanderlei Silva.
Coolest guy. When I used to live in Japan, we'd go to a club in the Roppongi district in Tokyo. So we'd go there, and it was really cool. It's all you can drink, so we'd have fun. And then
which is always a good time.
Always a good time anywhere. So yeah, so I'm there with my friends, we're having drinks and having a good time. And then Vanderlei Silva, they must have like a Pride event, or maybe someone from his gym was fighting in Pride or some event. He walks into the club and nobody even recognizes him. So I come up to no one even recognizes him.
Is it like shaved head and like 220 pounds of like just
huge
gorilla?
Yes, like a big pit bull. So then I see him.
A gorilla pit bull?
And I see him. No one recognizes him. I just walked down, kind of buzzed, Hey, Vanderlei, you're the champ. And then Vanderlei doesn't speak English, or he didn't at the time.
Hang on. Let me clarify too. Mike is like 6'2", so you can see him like stumbling drunken.
Right, over all the little Japanese people in the club.
Hey, wait a minute. What? I'm Japan. I'm a little. Never mind.
So I go up to Vanderlei. I'm like, hey, you're the champ, Vanderlei. You're the best. Vanderlei don't speak English at that time.
Right.
Obrigado. Arigato. So I was like, yeah, and then it's all you can drink. So I felt really big. I was like, let me buy you a drink. What do you want, Vanderlei?
Did you say you wanted to buy him a drink?
Maybe he didn't know it was all you can drink.
Let me buy you a
Make me
drink.
look good. So then I said, what do you want to drink, Vanderlei? He's like, tequila. I was like, oh yeah, tequila. So I go in,
Tequila.
go to the bar, get a shot. Then we go, let's drink tequila. We drank tequila, drank together. We hugged, we shook hands. And, it was awesome.
Sounds like you guys had a moment.
He's cool, man. Well, the thing about Vanderlei, I realized, you watch like these MMA fighters on TV.
Mm-hmm.
He's so, he's short. He was shorter than me.
He's like listed as like 5'10", right?
Yeah,
you
maybe.
Think he's 5'10"?
No, I'd say he's maybe like 5'9".
Really?
Yeah, he's
because
not that tall.
I've seen him listed as high as like 5'11".
No, he's not. Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, but I'd see him. He's so big, muscular.
Right.
Like literally, if he punched me, I would die. He could like punch me in my arm. He's so big and scary. I would die.
I would die from a punch to
But
the arm.
he was so cool. So we had
Yeah.
tequila shots at Ep01 to go do his thing, go dance. I went on my thing, and then so I go to the club every so often. This is like
Right.
6 months later.
Yeah.
Same club. Yeah. He walks in and he looks at me and he points at me and he goes, Tequila.
Tequila.
Oh, that was the coolest
Oh.
moment. I went to get another tequila, had another tequila at Vandalay.
Oh yeah.
Ever since the first time, man, I've been like the biggest Vandalay Silva fan.
That's so strange. How did he pick you out at a club in Japan among other, Japanese people?
I guess because I'm white and 6'2".
Oh, okay. I guess that would be a little bit of a memorable experience for him then.
But yeah, I mean, living in Japan was cool. I met at a 7-Eleven in the same place Roppongi. I was waiting for my friends, and Josh Barnett was standing next to me reading magazines.
You're like, Josh Barnett, don't just buy the magazine. You
Yeah,
probably got enough money.
And I'm 6'2", and he made me look small. He was big
He's a big dude.
because they listed him as what 6'3", 6'4".
6'3", I think.
He's bigger than that. He's big, but cool guy. He was really cool too.
Is he cool? He seems like he would kind of be like, are you here to sacrifice some blood for my
I don't know. I think that's
war gods or
I think
something?
that's more for like the cameras because he was really cool.
Public persona, maybe?
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry,
But yeah, just a
his
persona in the
entertainment.
public.
Yeah.
But he was really cool. Who else was cool? I met K1 fight. If you know K1, I met Ray Seffel is really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's really sad about that is I just saw Ray Seffel fight in the World Series of Fighting, right? He's the president of it or whatever, and he signed himself into a fight against some. I don't want to say he's a journeyman, but he was doing a kickboxing match, and he was actually clowning the guy. He was leg kicking him to death, and if he just landed a couple more, he would have won. But he tried to throw a high kick, spun around, didn't bring his hands up fast enough, and the guy clocked him with a left hook, swarmed him. He actually TKO'd Ray Seffel.
Wow.
So that's kind of a big thing for these aging fighters.
Oh,
They
yeah.
fight past their, I
Yeah.
guess, expiration date, right?
Yeah. It's hard for people who compete at such a high level to just kind of hang it up all of a sudden.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But yeah, he was cool, man.
That's cool. Ray Seffel. Where did you meet him? In
In
Japan too?
Roppongi, same place at all the bars. I'm assuming after the events, that's where everyone goes to party. Yeah.
Dang.
He was cool. Him and he was with if you guys know Francisco Filio.
Really?
Yeah, they were together. He was cool.
Dude, those are like the wrong guys to like bump into and be
Oh,
like,
man.
and be totally ignorant of K1 and be like, what's the matter? You guys want to fight or something?
Yeah.
And they're like,
But they were super cool. Yeah.
that's awesome.
They seemed to like it that I knew who they were. That I knew who they were.
Was it kind of more like no one else kind of was giving
Yeah,
them
well,
attention
I mean,
to?
they're like walking on the street, and it's like if anyone's been to Japan, the streets are all crowded with people.
They
and,
kind of stand out because they're
Yeah,
tall dudes.
right,
Well,
and
Ray
then-
Seffel maybe not so much, right? He's not
yeah, but they're big. They're big.
Large.
They're big dudes. Yeah, Japanese people won't say anything, right? But
right.
then, when I
Unless
saw-
they're like, I've seen crazy fans.
Right,
Crazy
yeah.
fans, but they're everywhere.
Yeah, but yeah, that was really cool being in Japan. Like I met, and then not on a side note, WWE fans.
Yeah.
I met like my favorite wrestler ever, Rob Van Dam, at the same club.
Yeah, so this is, that's
It was awesome. Rob Van
close
Dam, he's
enough.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah, but actually Bautista, you met Bautista.
Yeah,
too,
Bautista was with
'cause
him.
he fights MMA, so we can kind of
Right.
mention him
Yeah.
as well. But he
Wasn't very
a
friendly.
little standoffish,
Yeah,
right?
he didn't want to. He's huge.
Yeah,
But
he's
he didn't want to talk to me.
he was the iron.
That's right, the man of the
whatever.
Iron Fist, right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
Copper Man or something.
I forget. Yeah, his skin
Eh.
turned to metal when someone tried to like kill him.
So he was the Silver Surfer.
Maybe
Some-
he's like
no.
Colossus.
Oh,
There you go. I mean, what?
Wow,
I don't read comics.
such a nerd. Anyway, all right. Moving right along. I guess who have I met that's famous? I guess in the MMA world, like I was very blessed. I don't understand and realize how lucky I was to train. I started with Barrett Yoshida, and he would actually just roll with everyone until everyone was like, I don't want to roll anymore, and he just wanted to keep going and going. And now that he's left for the mainland, I found how blessed I was to be able to like train with someone like that. And I think that's why I got so good so quick. And it's just too bad that I'm so lazy. I don't keep up my training that I never really did as well as I should have. But let's see. Yeah, I met Jens Pulver at a UFC once.
Wow.
And I told him, I was like, yo, I saw that Stephen Pauling fight. He's, yeah, it's my favorite fight. And I was like, he was super chill. Who else? Man.
Yeah. On a side note, those of you that have like Netflix, there's a really cool Jens Pulver documentary on him.
What
recently.
was, you know what that title is?
It's probably called like Little Evil or
Something like that.
something to that effect. But
Right.
it shows like his life now. Like he got married. He has a kid, and it shows him like getting ready for a fight, and Yes, he's a real cool guy.
Right on. I want to give a quick shout out to Hubert.
Oh,
Hubert. I know Hubert's listening right now because he's actually texting me or messaging me on Facebook. If you don't know, on Mondays we do a podcast called Just a Tip, and Hubert's a big reason why I'm even here right now. Other than David, but he forced me to go do podcasts with him, and as a result, we kind of did a little spin-off. And Mike and I are doing this Kakutogi crazy now. So
yeah,
Hubert, you're a nice guy.
You're cool, Hubie.
Except for the fact that you're never on time. But other than that, you're
you
great.
Listen to crazy people on podcasts.
Yeah, but hey, if you
about
guys
Genghis Khan.
Oh man, if you guys don't know and you haven't been listening, check out Just the Tip. It's on iTunes actually. Just the Tip with the exclamation point at the end. And he just uploaded our first live broadcast that we did this past Monday. It was a great time. Talked about a lot of silly stuff. And I think we made fun of Hubert a lot for some stuff he says. So check it out.
Wouldn't that be every podcast?
Yeah, well, this time more than others. Good fun, man. Let's see. Moving on. I guess every time you hear me say moving on, you can take a drink. Or every time you hear Mike say, well, when I was living in Japan, you can also take a drink. Up to you. Oh, yeah. Don't do the ums. You will die of alcohol poisoning. If you hear the or the us, you will die. Or if you hear my voice crack, you may also die. Okay. Are there any fights coming up that you're looking forward to in the near future?
No, definitely Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman.
Yeah, Chris Weidman. That's going to be a crazy fight. I think Weidman is an underdog again.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Yeah, I guess knocking someone out in MMA doesn't count for as much as it
You gotta knock him out twice, I guess, to get respect.
That's what he said. Chris Weidman said, even if I beat him again, there's still going to be people that are going to doubt me and still, be hating, right?
I think he's one of the first fighters that Anderson's fought that has like a chin that can take a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Cote was doing well.
Until he was like doing ballet and then he hurt his knee, dancing like a fairy.
I think he bounced forward and his knee buckled, and that was it. But yeah, Cote was taking some shots. But yeah, Chris Weidman, I don't know. When I saw Anderson Silva leg kicking, when he got upset and actually started throwing some offense at Chris, he leg kicked him, and I don't know. I didn't hear any slaps or anything, so that thing was hard. I wonder how hard Anderson Silva can do leg kicks, man, or how much power he was putting.
It was weird too, but not to take anything from Chris Weidman away, but it didn't seem like Anderson Silva was into the fight.
Do you think he was doing like I'll fool around for the first 2 rounds and clown for a little bit, and then maybe if he gets tired, I'll turn it up and knock him out kind of thing? I
don't know, because, you saw, did you see the Damian Maia fight?
Yes, I did.
Because he clowned around, but he was really aggressive after, yeah? But,
after?
I mean, he was really aggressive.
Clown, and then he would, turn up the offense.
Right, but then against Chris Weidman, even in the interview after, when he actually said, he didn't even know if he was going to fight again. So it seemed like he wasn't even into the fight.
Right, his mind wasn't in it, right?
Yeah, and then he seemed way too respectful of Chris Weidman during the fight and before the fight.
Conspiracy theorists unite. I think he was bored. I think Anderson was bored.
Probably, or he was just tired. It's hard. What title defense was that? Number what? Or what fight was that in a row?
I think it might have been his 8th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's got to be hard.
A lot.
Have you seen his documentary?
But his record at that time was how he had undefeated for 15 fights or something.
Yeah, it was nuts. And you figure he must have been tired.
I'm just throwing out numbers, by the way. So
he has a family. He's. I don't know. It'd be tiring for me.
I just want to see who bet money on Chris Weidman. Or I want to see if Anderson Silva put money on Weidman. Everyone's richer.
Yeah.
Well, anything else that you off the top of your head? For myself, while I not give you time to think. How about I'm giving you time to think while I say mine. All right, I'm actually looking forward to the Pettis versus Josh Thompson.
Oh, yeah. I want to see that fight.
Showtime.
He's the man. That armbar on Benson Henderson, that was slick, man.
That's ridiculous.
That's one of the slickest armbars I've ever seen.
Henderson is no joke.
Is he a black or is he still a brown belt?
He might have gotten his black. I know he was fighting Frankie Edgar as a brown belt. But he's no joke on the ground. He's
no joke. I mean, I've seen him. You can go on Yahoo and YouTube.
Yeah.
And see some of his tournament fights. Yeah,
he was doing a lot of gi tournaments too. So I don't know if it was the no gi that did him in or whatnot, but it just seemed like he was a little flat in that fight.
Well, he ate those body kicks, man.
He kicked him 4 times in a row.
Those body kicks. I mean, just watching him was sore.
And just further proof of how much of a Pettis kick hurts. that Donald Cerrone fight prior to
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Where he did like not a check kick. He did a switch kick.
Switch kick.
Yeah, he did a switch
yeah.
kick to the liver. And Cerrone, he's a tough dude. He's a bad dude, but even he went.
Yeah, he went down.
Doo-doo pants, and he went down, and he just got finished.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So
But- and
Pettis is no joke, and
Yeah.
he just said he was injured too. He had a separated shoulder 2
yeah.
weeks before the fight.
Crazy, yeah.
It's amazing. I don't get it.
But then the other thing too is, those of you that watched the fight, Benson Henderson ate the first two. He didn't really make a reaction, any
Right.
expression, but that third one, when he hit him, you could see him like wince.
And it didn't seem like he was making any adjustments.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He's like, there's no he's going to kick me for a second time. Okay, third.
But,
not
you
going to
know,
kick me a third time.
We talked about this before, but maybe he was thinking that Pettis was going to go to the head.
Right.
So
right.
he kind of had his hands more blocking his head than his body.
Right,
but,
because Pettis did knock out Joe Lauzon.
yeah,
Yeah, with
That
a head
was-
kick too,
yeah.
right? So, like I said, man, Pettis is the real deal.
he's no joke.
But the crazy thing is when he fought Clay Guida,
Yeah.
Guida's definitely gone down since
Yeah.
that fight, but he was able to control and he beat Pettis. So
Yeah,
I don't know, I don't know what's going on with. I guess mixed martial arts is always changing. That's why it's always exciting and fun to watch.
You never know who's going to win.
Yeah, and it's also a double-edged sword because I really, cheer for some fighters, and you really want to see them win. For example, BJ Penn.
Right, yeah,
I love watching
so-
him fight, but when he loses, you're just like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
don't-
You know you're
yeah.
better than this, or I mean, is that just it?
Yeah.
And speaking of BJ Penn, he's thinking about doing a comeback, right?
Well, I guess it's decided, right? He's going to drop down to flyweight.
Featherweight. I don't think he can make
sorry.
125, right? But yeah, he's gonna coach opposite of Frankie Edgar, and he's gonna
Edgar.
fight him for the third time for a rubber match, even though rubber matches are supposed to be when it's 1-1.
1-1.
But
right.
anyway, he's gonna fight him again, and it's I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he's always had a hard time cutting weight, yeah.
He's had a hard time cutting weight, and he's had a hard time fighting Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar moves a lot. His boxing is crisp. His wrestling is good. And, the crazy part is when BJ Penn actually got Frankie Edgar's back, I think in the second fight,
Second
maybe,
fight, yeah,
he had his
that's
back.
right.
And BJ Penn is like, that's like a death sentence if BJ Penn gets your back. But Frankie got out of it and just kept taking it to him. So I don't like his chances. I'll never count BJ Penn out of a fight.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I don't know. He's got to do something different to win that.
Yeah. It's always sad watching. Like his last fight against Nick Diaz, too, man. That was hard to watch.
Right. Spider-Man.
But, speaking of BJ Penn, sorry, when I trained up, another really good thing about training up at Ensign's gym in Japan,
Right.
in Purebred, was a lot of the foreign fighters, especially from Hawaii, would come up and, maybe a week earlier and kind of acclimate and train up there. And even Barrett Yoshida came with their BJ Penn. And it was nuts when BJ Penn came up to the class. He trained, and then we had jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And when the jiu-jitsu class was done, he put on his gi. And it was nuts. Everyone just went nuts. They lined up to basically get choked out by BJ Penn.
They lined up to get knocked out.
I mean, that was me too. So, I ran in line. I was like behind 5 other guys.
Yeah.
So BJ was already rolling for about like maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was me next. And like I said, I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Not
big.
a small guy.
I'm not a small guy. I'm not saying I'm all that and stuff. But, BJ Penn, he must have subbed me like 10, 12
So
times.
it wasn't like sub and get out of here. It was,
No,
it
it
was,
was,
do a time
yeah,
limit.
you can do a round.
Jeez.
Yeah. And he just, he's so strong. He's so good. Like, he's almost like an anaconda. He just flows around you. And I literally, I was trying my best not to get submitted.
Right.
But yeah, he just submitted me at will. Same thing with Barrett Yoshida. And Barrett
But
Yoshida's smaller.
You got to roll Barrett?
Yeah, but not as long. But, Barrett Yoshida's smaller than
Right,
BJ.
yeah.
And same thing, man. Like, I don't even know how many times he rear neck you choked. And I knew it was coming, but
Yeah, that's the problem. You know it's going to happen.
yeah.
And you can't do anything about it.
And they're so cool. You know what I mean? Like, I just got messed up by BJ Penn and even Barrett Yoshida. But, you're done. Man, you talk to them for like an hour after. It's so cool. They're like really cool guys.
Yeah, they're chill.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Let's see. What else? Velasquez dos Santos.
Oh, yeah. I
you
want to see
You
that
want to
one.
see that?
I want to see that.
Did
You don't
you-
want to see that?
Well, I mean, I watched their second fight
Right.
where he just ragdolled him for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that was from that first knockdown, right? In the
Right.
first round.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But you heard
I'm
about
not-
that, right? Like they said that
He
Dos Santos was
overtrained.
training
He was-
too much, so he was like peeing out his own muscle mass.
Right. His muscles exploded from overtraining.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't excite me though. I mean, unless Dos Santos comes back, a
Yeah.
changed fighter or whatever. I know, because guess what Cain Velasquez's game plan is?
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing. He's going to try to rinse and repeat on him, right?
Right.
So is Dos Santos going to be able to counter that, or is he going to come up with a different game plan?
Right. The other thing that's bad about that fight too is, whoever's going to lose that fight is basically going to be out or out in limbo, right? They're not going to get another chance for a while. They got to get fresh blood into the title picture.
Yeah, and the problem with that is the loser will be the best fighter in the heavyweight division that is not the champion. Yeah. So everyone out there, he's just going to wipe the floor with everybody else, and no one else will be able to touch Kane.
Yeah, that's why I was so mad. Alistair Overeem lost.
Speaking of big busts, holy smokes, Alistair, what happened?
I guess that Chinese medicine.
Horse meat, and...
he
said he never took steroids. He ate a lot of horse meat, but I think the horse meat was injected with steroids. Right?
Probably.
Oh my gosh, that guy killing me.
But props to Hapa Brown, man, from Hawaii.
Woo! Woot woot!
But he's out.
By the way, what day is today?
Today is hump day. What?
Yeah. No, yeah, seriously, he was considerably smaller. You could see stretch marks, so that means he shrunk from a larger size.
Yeah.
He looked nowhere near his level of physique that he had for when he won the K1 Grand Prix.
No way. Even when he fought Brock Lesnar.
Oh my God, Brock Lesnar, man. That was a fun fight to watch, though.
Oh yeah.
He can't.
But I feel bad for Brock Lesnar after he had his
diverticulitis.
Yeah, he wasn't the same fighter after that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think he was in it either.
Yeah.
I think he was kind of tired of it too.
Yeah. Plus going through kind of a life altering experience, right? Because he almost died.
Right. Yeah. But we had such high hopes for Alistair.
Yeah.
Did well against Brock. He was actually doing really well against Antonio Silva, right?
He was, yeah.
Then he got tired, got a little cocky, and then knocked
out. Same thing with Hapa Brown too.
Did you see the knees he was landing on Travis Brown?
Yeah.
He hit him with the knee and he folded.
Yeah, and then he just rapid fire Gatling gun punched him down, but Hapa Brown, I guess, covered up. Yeah, he didn't eat anything.
He was defending intelligently enough. That's a fight you need to watch. You need to watch that fight. That's a good one.
But the only bad thing is Hapa Brown is out indefinitely. I think he broke his orbital bone.
What?
Yeah, if you go online and look, he's not medically cleared. It says out indefinitely.
Okay.
So it must have did some damage.
Did he hurt his foot on Alistair's head?
Oh man, maybe.
Why? Hubert mentions Frank Mir. I don't know.
Frank Mir got knocked out by Josh Barnett, and then he complained after. As his face hit the floor, I wasn't knocked out.
Even though I was completely limp,
I
was totally still in the fight.
He's another one. I think after who did he fight first, Carwin or Lesnar?
Who?
Frank Mir.
Mir got knocked out by Brock Lesnar.
First, after that fight, he wasn't the same fighter.
He bulked up to 265 plus to fight Shane Carwin. He stopped Shane Carwin's shot. He said all he was thinking was, I stopped this shot. And he got knocked out against the fence, right? The uppercuts, right?
Yeah, against the fence.
Frank Mir. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, but he did break Nogueira's arm.
He did, yeah. But Nogueira was old already.
He knocked him out, too, though, before that, right?
No, that was Cain Velasquez.
Cain knocked him out.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Frank Mir fought.
Cain Velasquez was bad, man. During that one stretch, he knocked out him, knocked out Bigfoot Silva. Whew.
He's going, man.
And he comes into that funky Mexican music.
Yeah, the only time Cain Velasquez was actually in trouble was against Czech
Congo, man. He got knocked down twice or three times.
I think 3 times he got knocked down. And he still was able to keep wrestling and won the unanimous decision. Huh. Okay, we're all over the place, but that's what we do.
That's all right. It's all about Kakutogi, and we're crazy.
Yeah, we're Kakutogi all over the place. Anyway, real quick, let me take a quick break to mention that you are listening to us on KHRA, AM 1460, Radio Korea.